My name is Webb, Gillespie, and I'll be giving y'all a persuasive speech on the legalization of marijuana. The legalization of marijuana has been a highly debated issue the past few decades. This is an old movie called The Devil's Weed, and it says exposing the tragic truth of the marijuana menace. Can marijuana be used in a healthy way without causing more negative consequences than it's worth? One main gateway to marijuana's legalization appears to be through the medical use. People with Parkinson's disease, AIDS, HIV, and cancer see marijuana as a relief for their symptoms of both the disease and their treatments. Through research, though research is ongoing, marijuana has been known to decrease side effects of treatments such as nausea, decrease in appetite, and pain. Through the selling of the drug, the government could make millions on tax revenue. On the other hand, many other medical companies do not recognize marijuana's benefits. If marijuana is legalized, many doubt the drug will be used in a responsible manner. Others fear drug cartels bringing crime and violence into the United States. The legalization of marijuana would greatly increase the number of users, along with its availability. One common concern over this action is that marijuana smokers may not be safe on the road. Marilyn Hustis, one of the top experts on marijuana and the chief of the Chemistry and Drug Metabolism section of the Clinical Pharmacology and Therapeutics Research Branch at the National Institute of Drug Abuse, stresses her belief that there is no amount of marijuana that can be used and that you can drive on the road safely afterwards. One of the main ingredients of marijuana is THC, which is responsible for the high feeling you get after use. THC is absorbed into the body tissue and is slowly released over time, therefore resulting in Dr. Hustis' belief that heavy chronic daily users may be impaired in ways that are not yet understood. Habitual smokers can have side effects that can remain active at all times of the day. An accurate test must be created in order to detect the amount of THC a driver has consumed before driving. Melissa Doak, author of the article Growing Up, Issues Affecting America's Youth, states that in 2007, 70% of high school students used alcohol, while 38% used marijuana. These statistics reveals how heavily these two highly abused substances are used, and the number of students who smoke marijuana is only increasing. Legalization will only boost the percent of high schoolers using marijuana and driving. Federal scientists are still not sure how drivers will be tested besides sobriety tests to determine if they are under the influence of marijuana. The knowledge of the harmful side effects that our future generations would be facing must be addressed for the legalization process to proceed. The possibility of another abusive substance becoming widely accessible to all ages could result in dangerous consequences, such as an increase in fatalities due to driving while intoxicated. Legalized marijuana will be sold at common places in cities and towns. There are family values groups who wouldn't accept raising a child with marijuana advertisements everywhere. Large corporations will dispense it and make millions, resulting in an increase in marijuana advertisements, just like cigarette advertisements today. Commercial advertisements will hypnotize children into an acceptance of drugs in general. This will become an easily accessible gateway to more deadly drugs, such as cocaine, heroin, and meth. Legalized marijuana will only create crime and violence if the government allows it to become legalized for medical use in several states. Legalization is just another way marijuana is becoming more inviting to our children and drivers. In spite of the possible drawbacks, the positive aspects of legalizing marijuana far outweigh the negatives. Marijuana has already been declared legal for medical use in over 19 states. The Controlled Substance Act, or CSA, places marijuana as a Schedule I drug, alongside heroin, LSD, and ecstasy. The Act states that marijuana cannot be prescribed from a doctor. There obviously seems to be a gray area between the federal and state law for medical marijuana alongside its recreational use. Most users of marijuana are personal users with no medical reason for the drug at all. In 2010, a poll on California's Proposition 19 was taken. Proposition 19 was also known as the Regulate, Control, and Tax Cannabis Act, which was an attempt to legalize marijuana while controlling the drug, making it more difficult for minors to obtain, weakening the cartel. This would allow police to concentrate on stopping violent crime, but it would also generate millions in revenue while releasing money used to stop marijuana use. The legalization of marijuana will greatly reduce the street value of the drug. This will create a struggle for income in the black market, making the drug pointless to sell. Legal marijuana will create a gigantic reduction in marijuana-related crimes. This will give the government more time and more money to focus on more deadly and important crimes at hand. Marijuana dispensaries will be taxed for the selling of marijuana, therefore creating millions in revenue for the government. Dispensaries and marijuana farms will be made everywhere, creating more jobs in today's tough economy. The closest act to full legalization came in November 2nd, 2012 in California, when the Golden State failed to vote pro-legalization. This is due to cultivators who don't want the price of this illegal crop to go down. Kelly Valhos, the author of The American Conservative, states that the population of cultivators is so high that state estimates declare the annual crop of marijuana in California is worth $14 billion. If marijuana is legalized, the amount of business that will be brought to America is hard to ignore. For example, Richard Lee is a successful medical marijuana distributor and founder of Oaksterdam University, who brings in $2 million annually in revenue. It almost seems ignorant not to take advantage of this enormous financial opportunity knocking at America's door. The legalization of marijuana will create jobs and revenue through the taxation and dispensing of the controlled substance. If marijuana were to become legal, the federal legal limit of marijuana intoxication would have to be broad enough so that medical users could use the drug as they see fit for their symptoms. The law would also need to keep the legal limit from being too narrow and making the drug almost impossible to use without breaking the law. There are much larger problems federal officials could be focusing on instead of trying to stop a growing population of marijuana users and growers. The financial success already found through medical marijuana distribution should be a positive sign to the government. America needs an economy boost through marijuana to help escape our huge debt. Nothing seems more helpful than taxing a product while saving billions from not trying to prevent its use in the first place. As the number of marijuana users increase every year, it seems foolish for the government to continue its efforts to prevent its use. Thank you.